Monica. Welcome back to my channel, Suds and Bees. In today's video, we will be making a citrus basil frozen drink candle. For this candle, I use golden wax 464. I used 100% of it. I melted a little bit on the side and chopped it up so it looks like it's chopped basil. And I also used a little bit of green from the chopped basil to make my basil leaves. You will see on the video that I heat up my wax to 190 and I pour my fragrance 185 because that is what's recommended from the vendor. To color my candle, I use orange gold liquid dye by Lone Star. And I use 2 drops for 200 grams of wax. For the scent, I am using Cool Citrus Basil Type by Lone Star. These are 4-ounce container mason jars with a handle. And for a wick, I'm using CD2, as I find that wick works really well with these containers. Because I did whip it a little bit and fluffed it out, I had a little bit left over. Normally I don't have any left over, and it's exactly 100 grams per container. So what I did is I just put this in a silicone mold and made a wax melt. And I am using my fragrance at 9% because I wanted them to be a little bit strong. So come on, let's go make it. Okay, so here I have a little bit of 464 and I'm putting a few shavings of Kelly Green from a block color. So we are at 136, and that's pretty low actually. So I'm going to be pouring this in one of my old melt and pour trays. That's why I didn't want it to be too hot. So I'm just going to pour it in one of the squares. Okay. Okay, we'll let that dry and we'll come back to create the rest. So the wax is still pretty soft, so what I want to do is I want to cut my leaves right now. I will be making 2. I apologize if you can hear the dogs barking in the background. They tend to go crazy every time my husband jumps in the pool. Like he's gonna drown or something. I wonder if I should cut. You know what, let me cut these as the leaves so they don't break. Okay, now I'm going to wait for it to harden a little bit more and then we'll start doing our thing. I think it's time to take these out. Ah, they fell apart. I'll be really careful with these. So I'm going to try and melt that here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I think it worked. But you know, I think that it's better to just put them upside down so I can melt this better, I think. I don't know. I think. Ah, this one didn't melt in. See, that's what I'm saying. I'll just melt it. That didn't work. We're just going to stick them directly onto the drink. Here we are chopping up the basil to put it inside our drink. You want to melt it up to 190, add your color, and you want to add your fragrance at 185. I'm following the instructions of some experts that use 464. And then we're going to go ahead and whip it and then pour it into our drink glass. So now it's melted. We are at 189. So we want to work pretty fast. Put 1, 2, that's a lot, but it's okay. Okay, it's a nice yellow. So remember, you want to test it by just grabbing it and pouring it on your parchment paper, and then you can zoom you in. And you can see what color it's going to be. 84. Okay, so we want to do that now. Again, I'm following the instructions of the vendor. And we are going to be putting in 9%, which is at 18 grams. Okay, so we can get rid of our scale. I'm going to go ahead and stir until we reach a nice point where I can start. I want to whip it a little bit so it looks like a frozen drink. Okay, so we'll be right back. So here I have the candle. I did get a little the wax. I did get a little impatient when I put it in the freezer. I waited for about 40 minutes and it just wasn't working. It wasn't solidifying. So I'm going to try to avoid using a whisk just because I'm lazy and I don't want to wash. So hopefully I can use this wood stick. But if not, then I'll use a whisk. I think it's to the consistency that I want it, where it looks like a frozen drink. So now it's time that I throw in my little pieces of green, which are my pieces of basil, just like you would cut up in a drink. So now to pour it in, because these are so tiny, and then I have my wick in here already, I'm going to use a piping bag. And on the piping bag, I am going to open like a pretty big hole because I don't want to, we have the green mint in there. I'm sorry, the green basil. You know what I mean. Alrighty, so it's all piped. I think I'm going to cut it right around here, so it doesn't impact. Now I want to put it inside the jar, and you know what, I'm going to change the camera so y'all can see. Don't mind my big mess here. I'll grab some 99% alcohol. Just clean the rim out. There, looks all nice and clean. Put one in. And then put the other. There we go. And there we are. We just made some citrus basil frozen drink candles. Thank you for watching. See you next time.